The year is 1888. Gaslight flickers across the cobblestone streets of London's East End. A thick fog, heavy with coal smoke and the stench of poverty, hangs in the air, obscuring the gaslight and casting long, eerie shadows. It is in this setting, amidst the labyrinthine alleys and overcrowded slums of Whitechapel, that a nightmare begins. A killer stalks the night, preying on women, his gruesome act sending shock waves through the city and beyond. His name, whispered in fear and speculation, becomes synonymous with terror: Jack the Ripper. The first victim, Mary Ann Nichols, is discovered on August 31st, 1888. Her throat is slashed, her body mutilated. The brutality of the attack shocks even the most hardened police officers. Panic spreads through Whitechapel as word of the murder spreads. Just days later, on September 8th, Annie Chapman is found murdered in a similar fashion. The City of London realizes it has a monster in its midst. As September bleeds into October, the murders continue. Elizabeth Stride, found on September 30th, and Catherine Eddowes, discovered less than an hour later, become the Ripper's third and fourth victims. The audacity of the killer, striking twice in one night, intensifies the fear gripping the city. The police presence in Whitechapel increases, but Jack the Ripper seems always one step ahead, vanishing into the fog and leaving a trail of blood in his wake. The final and perhaps most gruesome murder occurs on November 9th. Mary Jane Kelly, the youngest of the victims, is found brutally slain in her own room. The level of mutilation is unprecedented, solidifying the Ripper's horrific legacy in the annals of crime. The murders abruptly stop, leaving a city reeling and a mystery unsolved. The lives of Mary Ann Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes and Mary Jane Kelly were tragically cut short. Their stories forever linked to the shadow of Jack the Ripper. These women, often reduced to their gruesome ends, were daughters, mothers, sisters, and friends. They were individuals struggling to survive in the unforgiving poverty of Whitechapel. Mary Ann Nichols, known as Polly to her friends, was a 43-year-old woman, trapped in a cycle of poverty and alcoholism. She had turned to sex work to survive after the breakdown of her marriage. Annie Chapman, 47 years old, was a struggling flower seller, battling illness and addiction. Elizabeth Stride, a Swedish immigrant in her early 40s, had also fallen into sex work after a life marked by hardship. Catherine Eddowes, 46 years old, was known for her quick wit and resilience. She too resorted to sex work to support herself. Mary Jane Kelly, at 25, was the youngest of the victims. She dreamed of a better life, hoping to escape the streets of Whitechapel. These 5 women, forever linked by tragedy, serve as a stark reminder of the human cost of the Ripper's reign of terror. The police investigation into the Whitechapel murders was a desperate race against time, hampered by the limitations of Victorian-era forensic science and the fog-shrouded streets of the East End. Detectives, faced with a growing public outcry, followed every lead, however tenuous. Suspects were questioned and released. Theories were proposed and discarded. The Ripper, seemingly toying with the authorities, sent taunting letters to the press and police, each one adding to the climate of fear and uncertainty. Despite the efforts of Scotland Yard, the killer remained elusive, disappearing into the labyrinthine streets as quickly as he struck. The investigation, though ultimately unsuccessful in unmasking the killer, laid the groundwork for modern criminal profiling and forensic investigation. The identity of Jack the Ripper has, remained a subject of intense speculation for over a century. Over the years, hundreds of names have been put forward as potential suspects, each with varying degrees of plausibility. Theories abound, ranging from the mundane to the outlandish, encompassing doctors, barbers, artists, and even members of the royal family. Among the most prominent suspects is Montague John Druitt, a barrister who committed suicide shortly after the final canonical murder. His death, coinciding with the end of the killings, fueled speculation of his guilt. Another suspect, Aaron Kosminski, a Polish immigrant living in Whitechapel, displayed signs of mental illness and harbored a hatred of women. However, despite the compelling nature of some theories, concrete evidence linking any suspect definitively to the crimes remains, elusive. Beyond the grave, the Jack the Ripper case, although steeped in tragedy, has had a profound and, honestly, an enduring impact on popular culture. From books and films to television shows and graphic novels, the Ripper's legend has been explored and reimagined countless times, captivating audiences and sparking debate for well over a century. The enduring fascination with the case stems, at least in part, from its unsolved nature. The mystery, combined with the gruesome nature of the crimes and the historical backdrop of Victorian London, has provided fertile ground for writers, artists, and filmmakers. The Ripper's story has been used to explore themes of social injustice, class inequality, and, the dark underbelly of Victorian society. The enduring allure of a Victorian mystery. What is it about the Jack the Ripper case that continues to fascinate us over a century later? Perhaps it is the chilling nature of the crimes themselves, the brutal efficiency with which they were carried out. Or maybe it is the historical context, the image of a shadowy figure stalking the fog-choked streets of Victorian London, preying on the vulnerable. The case also serves as a stark reminder of the societal inequalities of the time, highlighting the plight of women living in poverty and the dangers they faced. The Ripper's victims, often forgotten in the shadow of their killer, become symbols of a system that failed to protect them. Their stories continue to resonate with audiences today, reminding us of the importance of social justice and the need to give voice to the marginalized. Unsolved, the enigma of Jack the Ripper. Despite the passage of time and really countless attempts to solve the mystery, Jack the Ripper's true identity remains unknown. The passage of over 130 years has clouded the waters of evidence, leaving us with more questions than answers. Was the Ripper a brilliant criminal mastermind who vanished without a trace? Or was he simply a product of his time, lost to history's shadows? The lack of a definitive answer only adds to the allure of the case. Theories continue to be debated, evidence re-examined, and suspects scrutinized. The mystery of Jack the Ripper, it seems, is destined to remain unsolved, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the heart of even the most civilized societies. The fog that shrouded Whitechapel in 1888 may have lifted, but the shadow of Jack the Ripper continues to loom large. The case, a macabre tapestry of murder, mystery, and social commentary, continues to fascinate and horrify in equal measure. While the identity of the killer may forever remain a mystery, the story of Jack the Ripper serves as a timeless reminder of the fragility of life, the enduring power of fear, and the importance of seeking justice for the forgotten victims of history.